Hello everybody. I am Ryan Feldmann. I am the warehouse and yard manager for Jansen Cable now. And I just wanted to kind of get with you guys and let you guys know about all the new changes that are going to be happening here. One of the big things that we have is materials that just come and go. When Dan hired me, there was a reason why he wanted me to take this over, is because we have millions and millions of feet of cable that are at our yard that literally, when they go out, we just have no idea where the numbers are, what the feet are. They come up 20 feet short, 100 feet short, or whatever. Now there's a reason why I'm actually coming in to actually make this work. So what I am standing up here today, it's one of the big things, the three things I'm actually looking at right now if I'm going to be doing a good job with this company. And it is communication, coordination, and actually consideration. One of the big, like I say, communication is going to be key from here on out. And for mostly, it's going to be for you subcontractors. The subcontractors at the beginning, like I said, I gave you all a lot of leniency at the beginning because I was new to what I was doing. I was for running the yard. Now what's actually going to change is because now that I've got the feel of the whole place, it's going to be more in the line of now that before the subcontractors, before you guys come in, before you guys actually want to pick up a reel of duct, a reel of fiber, whatever it is, or even handholds, communication is going to be the big thing. On my packet, or on my papers that you guys should have, it's got my cell phone number, my email. It's got everything it has. And the big thing that we're going to do for the subcontractors, or even the Jansen cable guys from our yard, it's going to have to be almost 12 hours notice in advance to know exactly what you're going to need, where I can actually tell you that here, you guys can have this, or you can't have this. It's on back order, whatever it is. Nothing, I might use choice words here because I do that every once in a while. Let's say nothing ticks me off more than when guys show up and they say, "Oh, we need handholds for cable 1." Well, sorry, they're on back order. Why didn't you call me beforehand? I don't want to see that anymore. And one of the big things now, it's going to be a material checklist coming in and out. And you guys all should have one of these. And this material checklist is actually going to, before any piece of material that will leave the yard that day, you guys are going to have to do two things to actually make this work. And eventually, at the beginning, it might be a little bit, how can I say, it's going to be a little bit complicated. It's going to take a little bit more time, but eventually it's just going to be clockwork. You guys will figure it all out. Some of the guys, like the subcontractors, even the Jansen employees, if we don't see one of these forms when you want to come up and pick up a roll of duct or fiber, whatever, or handholds, whatever it is, if we don't see one of these, I'm sorry guys, you're not going to get anything because there's way too many moving parts to actually just make them leave the yard without knowing. And that's where I'm going to be very, very, very strict about. And like I say, they hired me to do this to make sure that every little speck is accounted for. And I mean, it's going to be tough on me, but this is going to help out a lot. And I know it's going to take a little bit more time for you guys, but it's got to be done. So that's one of the big things that I'm going to be pushing for is for the subcontractors. When you come in, like I said, it's only going to take 1 minute for you guys the day before to actually call me up and say, "Hey, I need this, and this, and this." You know what? Perfect. I made a note, wrote it down. It'll be waiting for you in the morning. And if I don't have it, you'll know about it. But when people just start showing up out of the blue, and you know who you are, I'm not going to poke names. Yeah, it's just not going to fly. And the biggest thing is on this material sheet, it'll actually show the company you work for, the name, and also our job numbers. The job numbers is key as well. So, and that's where I'm gonna just constantly keep pushing. Then we have records of what's happening, and like I say, it's gonna make it a lot easier for you guys, and it's actually gonna make it a lot easier on me as well, and also the office. So for the subs, when you guys actually get there in the morning, the biggest thing, and you'll actually see that on your front page, is that before you come see me in the material yard or in my material office, you'll have a handful of sweet ladies up front, Miss Mandy and Michelle, Sabina, Shirley. They'll all be there, and one of them will be there actually say, okay, where's your format? I want to see what you need, and then they'll send you down to me. And I will actually say, all right, yep, I've got it. And hopefully you guys called the night before, then I'm going to say, it's right there. So, and it's gonna pick up a lot more time, or it's gonna save you guys a lot more time in the long run than it is driving 30 miles and say, well, we ain't got it. So we're just trying to actually make everything so much simpler. And like I said at the beginning, I was so lenient about all this. Now I really just kind of put my foot down. And by some small chance, and here's where worst case scenario. If this does not work out, I mean, I would actually have to be forced to literally lock the whole place down. And you guys would have no choice but to stop. But just coming in, grabbing reels, grabbing everything, and me not knowing, and all of a sudden I get a question about where'd this go? Well, I have no idea. So basically it's all of our butts on the line if we do not actually communicate as much as we possibly can. And if we can't communicate, or even in part of the consideration, it's just that consideration of 1 minute phone call. That's all I want. Then you guys can pretty much get what you want within reason. And then also too, there's days where I'm definitely going to be gone. There's days I got to do pickups, deliveries, wherever. I go up to MediaCom and I have to go pick up materials for different jobs. If I have to go up to Taylorville. Some days I'm gone for a couple of hours. Some days I'm gone the whole day. Who knows? This is where communication comes into play. I have two cell phones. One, you have my work phone number on there, but they didn't put my personal on there. And this is part of my job. And if you guys need my personal phone number as well, you guys can have it. I don't care. But it's just how to keep running this operation. Just keep flowing with it. And that's what I want to keep working with. And eventually when everything's all going to be, well, actually it's going to get real crazy here in a little bit because with all the new jobs coming up, we have a lot of big projects. Everybody's going to be running around just constantly. So, and that's where I want to just keep going on here, that you guys know who I am now. You can put a name with a face, and I'm trying to do the same with you guys. And hopefully in the long run, it's just going to, like I said, it's going to work like clockwork. It's just not, it'll just keep going and going and going. So a lot of, like I say, it's, without this check-in or without doing all the sign-ins and stuff like that, it's going to be, I'll turn you away if I don't get a job number. I mean, there's a lot of guys that show up, they show up, no job number, no nothing. Well, I'm in this such town. Well, okay, well there's 10 jobs going on in that town. As long as I can get a job number, when I say a job number, the number actually will start with the number, or the letter J. And if I don't have that, sorry, I will turn you guys away. And I don't want to, but it's just, it's how it's gonna have to work. And the same way with all inside the warehouse, we have so many aerial pieces. I mean, anything you need, like all of Braden's splicing stuff. We have everything in there. Everything's going to have to be checked out until I can actually get a feel or actually get the flow going. Where here it is, then yeah, we're going to have to constantly just write down every little speck of things. And I have a whole bunch of these forms. Mandy's going to have a bunch. Michelle's going to have a bunch. And like I say, and if I'm not at the yard or if I'm not at the shop that day, it's fine. I mean, fill it out, put it on my desk, and my desk is right there. You can't miss it. The last thing I want to do, like Kevin and I, we work side by side, but he's in He's the mechanic. He does his job. He's got a million other things he needs to do. The last thing I want is Kevin to be doing my job. So when I'm gone, hopefully get the respect from you guys to actually just say, hey, this is what I'm coming in for, or let somebody know that you came in, you lay it on my desk. When I get back, I will see that you guys took this, and I can actually put that in my computer, in my notes, everything, and nothing's going to be missing, and it's going to flow. So, but that's actually one of my big things I got going on. Is there any questions that anybody want to talk about?
Can you provide what your hours are?
My hours will fluctuate. I am the first one at the office every morning. I'm usually there about 5:45, 6 o'clock. Kevin Nieberge and I get there pretty much about the same time. But let's just say a sub calls me. I live 7 minutes away from the shop. And if I'm already gone, if I have to turn back around and actually go back to the yard for something like that, that's where consideration and coordination comes into play. Usually you guys can figure this out, and I know you guys work long hours, but yeah, if I some days I might leave at 3 o'clock, some days I might leave at 5 o'clock, or whatever it is. But if I know that a subcontractor that will actually communicate with me and say, hey, they call me at 7 o'clock in the morning, hey, can we get a roll of duck at 5 o'clock tonight? You know what, I'll accept that, just because I had plenty of time to get that, I got that phone call in. So if that's the case, sure, I'll stay until 5, or I'll leave and I'll come back, whatever it is. But yeah, that is key. But like I said, my phones are on me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You guys can call me, text me. Now, if you guys actually call me or text me at 2 o'clock in the morning, you're not going to get an answer. But texting is a good one, because now I have that documented. I can hear it, I can see it, and I'll know exactly what you need, and there it is. So communication is going to be everything for this whole deal. And if we can actually work together, we're all going to succeed. So
We can't do the job without you, so we're gonna make it work.
I hope you do. Anybody else? And like I said, I'm going to be very, very, very direct from here on out. The leniency is gone. So, like I say, ask your questions now, because there's not going to be another. We're going to be finished with this. All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Okay, thanks guys. Want to make sure we re-emphasize, if you look at all the construction crews that we have over here, we have just one. We're doing this and had Ryan come up here because he's the only one in charge of all the material. And here we've got probably 15 or more crews here, and I know how Monday mornings are, and they're all going to go to him first thing Monday morning. It's enough to make everyone want to go to the orchard at 8 o'clock in the morning already. So that's the reason why we're doing this, so that everyone has everything planned out, organized, so not everyone is going to see Ryan that Monday morning or the next morning. So everyone can think ahead a day or two, find out what they need, because we only have a limited supply of materials, and everyone may want the same 2-inch duct the same day, and it's just not going to work. We don't have 5 reels just sitting there. That's why everything's going to be planned out and coordinated with Ryan, so it can all be checked out, so each crew can have what they need when they need it. So anyway, all the participation would be greatly appreciated. Okay, thanks guys. I think food's just about ready, so we'll have lunch.